Hello everyone, welcome to the OneClass channel. My name is Shenaeze and I am a second year student at McMaster University, currently in life science. I want a minor in environmental science. Today we'll be going over some commonly asked mathematics questions at the high school and college levels, mainly just algebra. If you need some homework help or tutoring help, check out the links in the description below and let's get started. So for our first question here, we are just asked to simplify bracket 5 minus 2x squared. Oh, sorry. Okay, squared. So this is in condensed form. We can change this into expanded form, which is equals to 5 minus 2x being multiplied by 5 minus 2x. We can then use the FOIL method and kind of distribute it like that. So first and second, and distribute this with this. So 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times negative 2x is equals to negative 10x. Negative 2x times 5 is negative 10x. And negative 2x times negative 2x is a positive 4x squared. We can then reduce or simplify the common terms, and we're left with 4x squared minus 20x plus 25 as our final answer. Oh, so. There we go. So, which equation represents the graph function below here? So this is a linear equation. We know that because we can see a line. What we can also tell about this is that it is a decreasing function because it is going up, but in the opposite direction. So it's going down in the x-axis, so here. So if it was like that the other way, it would be increasing. However, this is going further down as x increases, which means that the slope is decreasing and the function is decreasing. Is decreasing. So I'm just gonna write the equation of a line, which is y is equals to mx plus b. M, as we all know, is the slope of a line, and we can calculate this by using y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And B, we all know, is the y-intercept. And that is where the line or the function intercepts the y-axis. So, with using all the information that we are provided with, we know that it's a negative function, so a negative slope. So it has to be y is equals to negative mx plus b. And we only have two options over here that have a negative. So by process of elimination, we can get rid of B and C. So our only two options left are A and D. We can figure out our y-intercept by just looking at the graph, and we know over here when our x is 0, our y is 3, which means that is our y-intercept, and it's a positive 3. Next thing we have to figure out is our slope. So we're going to use the formula provided above over here, and we're just going to plug in with the coordinates that they've given us. So the m is going to be y2, which is, we can take this point, for example, to be our y2, is 3, and our y1 is 1, minus 1 over, our x1 is 0, and our our x2 is 0, and our x1 is 1. So this is going to be 2 over negative 1, or negative 2 is our final answer. Well, not final, but like our slope. And we know that it's correct because it's negative. If we put all of our things together, we get y is equals to negative 2x plus 3, because of our y-intercept, and that is our equation. And the only option that matches is A. Our next question is, how do you write x to the power of 2 over 3 as a radical? So 3 x to the power of 2 divided by 3. Now, we have to make sure that the numerator is what we're multiplying, or like to the power of. And our denominator is the root. So in this example, this could be, so we put x and then we to the power of 2, because our numerator is our root, or we can put it as x over b over a is the same as xb. Basically, what I wrote at the top over here, the numerator is the power of, and the denominator is the root. So x to the power of 2 over 3 would be x to the power of 2 cube root. So that is our final answer. How do you find the x-intercepts of a quadratic function? So I'm just So I'm just going to write the standard equation of a quadratic function, which is ax squared plus bx plus c is equals to 0. And one way of figuring it out is using factors. So, by factoring, sorry. So if we're given over here, what we have to, the first method that we're going to use is called factoring. Just going to put it in red. Okay. So the first thing that you have to do for factoring is think of a product or two numbers that are being multiplied that are the same as A times C. Okay. And the sum of B. So for example, we have 3x squared plus 5x plus 7. Sorry, let's go with this. 4. So we have to find a product whose multiple is 3 times 7, which is 21, and a sum of 4. So we know that 7 times 3 is 21. Oh wait, sorry. Okay, so we know that it's going to be negative 21. We have to find a number that makes negative 21. We know that negative 3 times 7 equals negative 21. And also we know that 7, if we add negative 3 to it, will equal 4. So that was our first criteria of finding the numbers. Our second is putting those actual numbers in. So basically making your middle term accessible to both sides. You'll see what I mean when I do this. So our two terms are 3 and 7, so we're going to put negative 3x squared. We're basically changing nothing over here, we're just kind of making it easier to factor. So that positive 4 is going to turn into a negative 3x and a positive 7x, because when you add them together, they're the same number, which is 4x plus 7. And then it's easier to factor out the common terms. So here, in this, negative 3x is common, and you can factor that out. And you're left with x plus 1. And over here, 7 is common, so you can take that out, and you're left with x plus 1. Group the like terms together, and you're left with negative 3x plus 7 and x plus 1. And then you can find out your x-intercepts by just, this whole equation is equals to 0. And then you can just figure out your, and then you can just figure out your zeros by isolating them, like that. So negative 3x plus 7 is equals to 0. You can isolate for x. Negative 3x is equals to negative 7. Divide each side by negative 3. X is equals to 7 over 3. That's our first x-intercept. And x plus 1 is equals to 0, so that's a negative 1. So those are our two x-coordinates for that function. Another way you can factor is by the quadratic equation. So how that works, our quadratic equation is pretty simple, which is x is equals to negative b plus minus square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. And if you look back at our original like our standard form, we're going to use this value for a this value for b and this value for c in our equation and figure out our two x's. Our next question is, how do you simplify negative 3x squared? So, what question would this be? 4. So, our fifth question is, how do you simplify negative 3x squared? Again, this is in condensed form. You can change it into expanded form. So, negative 3x times negative 3x, and then we're just going to simplify from there on. So once you multiply negative 3x times negative 3x is a positive 9x squared. X squared. So that is our final answer. How do you solve for y is equals to mx plus b? So if you guys remember, y is equals to mx plus b is our equation for a line. And they just ask us to basically just isolate for m, which is the slope for b. So by isolating, what they mean is the variable that they want, which is m in this case, has to be alone on one side of the equation. So either on the right side of the equals or the left side of the equals, but it has to be alone. So the easiest thing that we can get rid of to achieve that is b, because it's easy to get rid of. So how we're going to do that is, if it's adding b on this side, what we can do is minus b. However, what we do to one side, we have to do to the other side. So if we're minusing b on our right side, we have to minus b on the left side. So it's going to be y minus b is equals to mx plus b minus b. And so this would cancel out. And we're left with y minus b is equals to mx. Now all we do is to get rid of the x. We can get rid of the x. Over here is being multiplied, so the opposite of multiplying is dividing. So we can get rid of the x by dividing x on each side. Divide x. Again, this would cancel out, and we are left with y minus b over x is equals to m, and that's basically what they wanted, to isolate for m, and that is our final answer. There we go. Next, they ask us, what is a plus b, bracket a plus b, bracket close, cubed equal to? So a plus b cubed. That, again, is condensed form. We can turn this into expanded form. A plus b times a plus b times a plus b and then use the FOIL method. So how we're going to do that, we're going to just solve for the first two terms first, and then use that product to multiply it to the third term. So over here, a times a is ax, a times b is ab. B times a is ab, well, it's ba, but that doesn't really matter what order it's in because it's being multiplied, and b times b is b squared. So all of this is being multiplied by a plus b. Some students make the mistake of forgetting to multiply it by the third term at the very end, and that's where they lose marks. Please don't forget to do that. So over here, we're just going to multiply each and every term with the smaller bracket. So a squared times a is a cubed. I'm just going to try to write smaller. A cubed. A squared times b is a squared plus b. a squared b. Then we move on to the next term. So ab times a is a squared plus b. A squared b plus ab times b is ab squared, plus we move on to the second ab. We could have just added the two ab's to make it simple. It's up to you. It really doesn't matter. AB times a is a squared plus b, a squared b, plus ab times b is ab squared, and our last term is b squared, so b squared times a is ab squared, and b squared times b is b cubed. Next, what we're going to do is add up all of our like terms. So I'm just going to choose green for all the a squared b, sorry. And then I'm going to choose, let's go with yellow for the ab squared. Next, I'm just going to add up all the like terms. So a cubed plus their 3 a squared b plus 3 ab squared plus b cubed. That is our final answer. Good question. How do you know if an equation is linear or non-linear? So, question 7, I think. How do you know if an equation is linear or not? So, if an equation is linear, we have a simple formula that we use. It's y is equals to mx plus b. So, if you're provided with an equation, and if it doesn't match this, or if it's not in order 1, order 1 basically just means that, I'll explain it later, but if it doesn't match this general equation, then it's most likely not a linear equation. If it's something like a quadratic would be ax squared plus bx plus c. If it's something like that, then it's clearly not a linear equation because it doesn't match our given equation. Another way we can figure out if a function is linear or not is by using first differences. So if you're given a set coordinates or a graph, you can basically just plot this out. And one second. X and Y. So if our X is, let's say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and our Y is 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10, what we can do is minus the second term by the first term. So we're going to 4 minus 2 is equals to 2. And then we're going to keep on doing that. So 6 minus 4 is 2. 8 minus 6 is 2. So we're just going to minus the second term of the first one. 10 minus 8 is equals to 2. If all of these are the same, that means that their first differences are the same, which makes them linear. If, however, their first differences was something like 2, 8, 7, 5, and it wasn't consistent, then it can't be linear. That's another way to know if your equation is linear or not. Is equals to nonlinear. For quadratic equations, if the second, so here, if this was something else, if it was like not consistent, you can try minusing those numbers again. So for example, 8 minus 2, 7 minus 8, and 5 minus 7. If the answer to those are the same and are consistent, that means that it's a quadratic function. That's what we call second differences. This is kind of like the one that we did earlier, but this is solving for another variable. So, how do you solve for x in the equation y is equals to mx plus b? So y is equals to mx plus b. Again, this is an equation, a linear equation. And our m is our slope. And our b is our y-intercept. And our x and y are our coordinates. We are just asked to solve for x in this matter. So we're going to go right ahead and do that. Y is equals to mx plus b. So, when you're solving for a variable, when you're asked to solve for a specific variable, what they're asking is to isolate the variable and keep it on one side of the equals to. So one side of the equation. So it could either be the right side or the left side, it really doesn't matter. We can begin by looking at the thing that they are asking us, which is x, and seeing what around x we can get rid of first to make it all easy. And the thing that I can't think of is b over here. So what we can do to get rid of b is minus b on this side. But remember, whatever we do to one side, we have to do to the other side. So if we minus b on this side, we have to minus b on the other side. So y minus b is equals to mx plus b minus b. Your b's get canceled out. And you're left with y minus b is equals to mx. Now, we need to get rid of the m. We can do that by dividing m on both sides. And once we do that, this gets canceled out, and we are left with x alone. So y minus b over m is equals to x. And that is our final answer. There we go. How do you expand the binomial expression x plus 1 cubed, or x plus 1 to the power of 3? So, question 9, we're given x plus 1 to the power of 3, or x plus 1 cubed. This is in condensed form. We can turn this into expanded form. So that equals to x plus 1 times x plus 1 times x plus 1. Again, we're just going to do the first two. We're going to do the first two equations. The first two brackets first, multiply them, and then add in our third one. So this can be x times x is x squared, x times 1 is x, 1 times x is x, and 1 times 1 is 1. All that being multiplied by x plus 1. We can simplify this into x squared plus 2x plus 1 times x plus 1. Then we can start multiplying using the full method again. So x squared plus x is x cubed. X squared plus 1 is x squared. 2x plus x is 2x squared. 2x plus 1 is 2x. And 1 times x is x. 1 times 1 is 1. Now we're just going to group all of the like terms together. So our x squares, our x's, so x cubed plus 3x squared plus 3x plus 1. That is our final answer. Right there. Okay. We are then asked to substitute those are all the questions that we're going to be doing today. This was Shenaeze from OneClass. If you like this video, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel to get notified for when we post more videos. If you need any homework help or want to ask any specific questions, check the link in the description below